All right, YouTube, 2001 Monolithic, bringing you a new acquisition and an amp that I'm interested to talk about. See what you guys think. Maybe we can pin this thing down a little better. This is an Orion GS1000, Moon and Stars, digital reference. So a few different things. Moon and Stars tells me it's before like 91. Digital reference though tells me it's at the tail end of that. Because they maybe ran this from like 86, 85, 86 to 2001. But to use a digital reference, that would tell me it's at the tail end. So I would say this is like a 90, 89, 90, 91 at latest. The GS line was specialty amps, gold plated, as you can see. Absolutely gorgeous. Gold plating. And then this is also milled into the finish, which a lot of the Moon and Stars are actually on a vinyl sticker in the center. The GS line was like specially tuned to customer specs. What this is you're looking at a special edition of the GX 280, which was the 4 ohm stable version bridge to the 225 2 ohm stable version, 1 ohm for some people, but really 2 ohm version of the first HCCA 225. And so that's what this guy is. So I'll say it's a 400 watt amp. Now, my belief is that this is the range you want to be in. This is the gem of the series. So the 280GX, and then later the SX 275 will be where you're going to get the most watts bang for your buck out of the Orion line, because you get into the 2125, which had a Moon and Stars engraved, so the latest of the Moon and Stars, and then the SX 225 or 2150, and then that would be comparable to the first and second gen HCCA 250. You're going to get more with this line. So if you had two of these, because those are supposed to be twice as powerful, if you had two of these, you get 800 watts. If you have two of those, you get, which would be comparable to one of those, which you get somewhere around 500. So quite a bit more powerful, actually. Anyway, yeah, this one I added. I gotta use this thing somewhere. It's got to be put into use. This one is absolutely gorgeous. Now here's the thing with the Orion GS line, especially. They were specially made. Usually they engrave the name of somebody right here, right below the Moon and Stars, and the model number as to who it was. This one doesn't have that, which was, it's kind of cool to have that, but to me, it's like awesome that this was left blank. And then two, the gold plating is held up exceptionally well. You'll see here and right below the logo, it's kind of rubbed off. So it's not really there. But most of these are extremely pitted out. The aluminum and the gold didn't react well, and it was extremely pitted out. This one is in really, really good shape, considering that these amps, this one especially, you're looking at 30 years old. And it's just beautiful. There is some pitting if you get in close here. On the end plate, it's hard to see, but it's starting to. But this one's really a gorgeous amp, so I had to jump on it, and actually I paid a lot less than I would expect to for one of these. I did see in a video that Wilson Audio Labs had. It just happened to flash because he was looking up something else, but it happened to flash the MSRP on these. These were $900 MSRP. So when you take an amp 30 years ago, 900 MSRP, that's like $1,800 today, at least. So very, very expensive. And I'm glad to have my hands on it. You know, and something I like to run, I make sure I replace the caps, just to, I don't want to ruin this thing. You know, keep it in the game, you know, and I'll pass it on to somebody when I'm done with it. I'm just really glad to own it right now. But as you can see, just a gorgeous amp. Like I said, about a 400 watt is what I'm expecting. Here's the specs for this out of the manual. They listed this. They listed the GX280 at 80 times 2 at 4 ohms. They list these at 100 times 2. You know, I don't think you're going to see a lot of difference. I don't know. We'll see. I think that the 280 was a little underrated, and this will probably be just right about what it should be rated, which is 100 watts times 2. And then you drop it to 2 ohms per channel, which you'd have to do on this. You'd have to run it stereo because, you know, you can see there's no bridging button on this. There's no, you know, the boost EQ button, and there's no bridging button. On this one, you have power LED, left gain, left input, DIN, right input, right gain, and then that's it. I mean, you know, pretty straightforward. But yeah, really special amps. Super rare for a lot of reasons. Like I said, they usually has the engraving right here. But yeah, this thing's really, in person, it's a sharp amp. If I can get it to focus on it. There we go. Yeah, I mean, when you're far enough away, I mean, this sucker is, it looks awesome. You can see there's some sort of imperfection here, but out of the gold-plated Orion amps, this one is about the nicest I've seen. So when I seen this up for sale, I had to grab it. And then also, I want to hear, you know, what this is all about. More of the specs on it. Stereo separation, 80 dB. Dampening factor greater than 500. And now I would assume that would be at 4 ohm. So you drop it to 2 ohm, you're going to cut that in half. So 250, but really good dampening. Slew Rate, which they list Slew Rate for these. And that's something that a lot of car audio amplifiers you just don't see. Slew Rate is very important. Now, what Slew Rate is how far you can jump from nothing, because you're taking a small signal coming in, and you've got to jump that sucker up fast, and then it might drop, and then jump, you know, it's jumping up and down. And that's the Slew Rate, is how fast it can do that. And that's the op amp. These list it as 30 volts per microsecond, which is good. It's great. Like later on, like I want to say the PC series, that was more near 100 volts per millisecond. But I mean, just really good though, especially for the time. The transients will be really good on these amps. And that was the same for the GX. These are mostly GX280 specs because they didn't list them separately. But it said the voltage, it draws 250 milliamps at rest to up to 30 amps. I think it's going to draw more like probably 40 amps as far as fusing, because this is all outboard fusing, no onboard fusing. You can see it comes right out of the amp with 8 gauge power negative Molex plug. This one didn't come with it. It's fine because I have a whole bunch of Orion speaker Molex plugs. Let's see what else on this. We got oh, like I said, so this one was rated at 100 times 2, whereas the GX was 80 times 2. I think you're probably going to see the same. It's not probably going to be a whole lot different. But yeah, but anyway, so yeah, really cool amp. Something I think I'm going to hook up just to hear, you know, just so we can hear it. And that'll lead into my next video, because I have a series I want to do this summer that I think will be fun for a lot of people. And I'll explain that all in my next video coming up in the next day or two, maybe later today, tomorrow. But that's going to involve another company from this era, which I consider the golden era. Maybe we can get into that in the next video. On their letterhead here. And you old school guys know all about this company. And we'll talk about that in the next one. Thanks.